and our twists and our side to side. So first I call this eagle wings, right? So just wings in general. Pick a pair, whichever ones you like, right? And then from here we start to bend the knees, right? So arms come up overhead, and then when we bend the knees, we can come forward, press the hips forward. So really strong shoulders, thumbs pointing up. Then bend the knees, let yourself swing back, and then overhead. Take an inhale here, exhale, bend the knees, swim it forward. And then exhale, come back again. All the way up. Good. Exhale, come forward. Inhale here. Exhale back. Okay, so from this position, let's get into our weeping willow one more time. We can do this with straight arms. With straight arms, I like to interlace the fingers. If we're opening up the side body, this would be more advanced. And then the relaxed version is holding the head, putting out the elbows. So now we're doing straight legs, feet together, pushing strongly into the ground so we can open up from side to side. Really good. We're going to come back down. Let's just use our forearm press to revisit our sumo squat. Okay. Well, from our sumo squat, let's do a little bit more twisting from side to side. Okay? So that now we're letting the knee drop. We're going to do the same side, so left knee comes down. It's almost like we're coming into a side lunge, but we're still holding our weight, and then coming back up. So this twisting, rotating motion in the hip joint is really good and therapeutic for any sort of hip pain. So even though it's challenging for people to get that full rotation in the hips, it actually comes in really handy for opening up the hip flexors and hip joints. And we're not going to go much further than that for our first one. Really good. So we're very much using the ground and staying supported in these. And then if we want to come all the way down onto the knee, okay, we have to walk our foot out so we can square our hips. Okay, so now we're holding our weight. We're stacking our bones, and then we can use our forearm press to go a little bit further into the twist. Let's come up. So we always start with the easy version, right? And then for people who want to go deeper into it, make sure you walk your left foot out to create the space to square the hips. Now you'll notice the leg loops kind of get in the way here, so I just hold on to them, and then I use kind of like airplane wings to deepen the twist. So you can stay with the forearm press, or since the leg loops naturally just want to get involved, right? Yeah. Making themselves known, then we just bring them into the practice, and so then come back up. Let's do that with our airplane wings one more time, dropping the knee down, feel the rotation in the hip, stack the bones, and then twist with the arms. Again, this is with the knee down, so this is the easier version. The more you twist with your arms, the deeper you go. You can feel that in the upper thoracic, right? The upper back. Yeah.
Which way are you
twist over the knee.
Over
yeah.
the knee. Okay.
So over the knee is the harder part, right? This is the easy part, right? This is open, and then this is twisting towards that knee. Beautiful. Bring it back up. All right? So since we are here, let's practice our side lunges like we did yesterday, and holding on either with your hands or press down with your wrist, but you're going to be engaged, right? And you go, nice adjustment with your hips. You're like, why am I pushing my hips out like that? It's kind of funny once you notice. You're like, what am I doing? What the hell is that? It's like, it Austin Powers movie.
Like underneath the shoulders.
Yeah. So just that, yeah. Okay, so let's pop up into our warrior two on this side. Okay, we keep the left knee bent, tracking over the ankle. Now if we're coming into the full warrior two, we stack the bones so we don't let the knee go too far. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we need room, we slide out through the back foot. Yeah, good. So heel out, toes in, and then we use the arms to press down. So let's inhale and like lift. So I call it pulsing. So lift up a little bit on the inhale, press your arms down. And then exhale, relax, and drop into it. Really good. Inhale, pulse. Beautiful. Exhale, drop in. Nice. Inhale. And exhaling. So 5 on each side approximately. I hardly really count for reals. It's good. So we shift back. It's part of the roundabout, I call it. And then we come into second side. So always making the transitions part of the pose, like really smooth. Okay, inhale, pulse. Push down with your arms, lift up. Exhale, drop in. So use your arms to lift you. See if you can do it. Inhale, lift. Yes. As opposed to pressing into the legs. Totally different. Exhaling down, you'll notice the heat start to build when we do that too. Inhale and push. Nice strong arms. Exhale, look over the front fingertips if you want to do the full pose. Inhale, press, press, press. Exhale, relax into it. Really good. Come back through. Let's just go ahead and just do a simple lunging from side to side to loosen it up. Okay, so do this at your own pace in your own time where you can really just explore and play. And this is how I would give people a couple breaths in between things to relax into it and just kind of feel into. We were doing this yesterday. It's another kind of pulsing where we're pressing the hips forward and staying in one side but keeping the weight totally dropped. So keep your weight dropped. So lean back into it a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. And now when we press the hip forward, this is what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really deep in there. That's like we don't really get that deep in Warrior II when we're holding our weight. So let's do second side. Okay. So again, just playing with how to press that right hip flexor forward in a way that feels good and feels safe. Good. So bring your toes on that right side towards me a little bit more. The other right. Now I'm saying it backwards, so you can work with me, or else I'll just say the same side as me. I'm like staring at them, doing the little psychic stare. Come on, toes, you hear me. Okay, good. And then come back through center. Let's just go ahead and wash it out. So we're going to come into a supported back bend. So I just call this a supported back bend, nothing really fancy. I'm open to new names. Right? So we're going to use this to neutralize the spine, do a little weeping willow from side to side with the elbows clasped. I'll probably, in a normal class setting, revisit this about 5 times. Kind of like as a pause in between poses. Okay, so if we were tracking what we did yesterday, I'm going to come into the forearm press. I'm going to keep my left leg straight, right knee bends and comes back. Okay? So with the forearm press, I'm going to practice like a half camel, right? So knee over the ankle. Inhaling, press the arms strongly into the swing, lean back, and open up the heart, stretch the belly. Right? So you're going to feel it all through the psoas on the right side here. Let that feel good. Don't go too far for the first one. So exhaling, come back down and neutralize. So drop into it, drop into the front knee. Walk the toes forward so you don't lose that right angle. You're going to be very good. So now we drop in, and then we inhale and press and lean back, arch and open. Nice deep breaths there. Okay, and then we're going to exhale and press both legs straight out in front of us. So bring the knee forward. Just drop the hips. Let's pause. Maybe wiggle a little bit from side to side. I have lots of wiggle in my poses. I think it feels good and people really like it. Just a pause. Okay, so press the feet down, lift the hips, shoot the left knee back, right leg bends, and we come into our forward lunges. So in our forward lunge, so we did 2 forms of side lunges, right? One with the airplane wings and then with the Warrior II. Now we're doing our forward lunges, and of course we can always add a twist here. So twist towards the knee, and just notice that that changes things quite a bit, right? Yep. So that's all kinds, like I said, that's why I do the twists, the circles, the side to side. You can make all kinds of variations in the pose depending on how creative you want to be. So why don't we just go ahead and inhale and come into our arch, our back bend. Keep the heart open. Make sure the neck is happy. If you need support, you can always come into chillaxin arms, right? Some people who have neck problems are going to need to support the head in all these poses. But if you can, obviously it's more advanced to go further into the pose by pressing the forearms. Good. So let's come up, inhale up, exhale, drop in. So when we drop in, we're going to bend that left knee a lot. Very good. I like to keep my toes tucked under, mainly because you know where the next one's going to be more advanced like we did yesterday. But you can just have a flat foot too. So for me, I like to stay a little bit more engaged because this is also an option for a more advanced class, right? So notice the difference between these lunges and a normal yoga class is our spine stays upright. So we have more opportunity to hold the alignment like that. So we're going to bring the knee back down, just help the knee down, nice and gentle. So when we inhale, we're going to open the heart, arch back, and then press the left leg straight, keep the right knee bent, and then lean back so much you feel like you're going to bring your head, the top of your head to your heel. So that's the fullest expression. Of course, we could also add the arms and reach back towards the floor if your back is open to it. Beautiful. Does that feel amazing?
It's like opening.
Yeah, it feels very opening. So let's come back, both feet forward, and just clear it out with the supported back bend. So weeping willow, let's all clasp the hands behind the head and swing from side to side. This is all still number one. You can see how many variations and versions there are, and I'm going to show you one more set that I like to do before we move on to number two. I'm going to keep my forearm pressed for this. We're going to pick left knee up, turn onto the outer edge of the right foot. So stepping the foot by the knee is a beginner. Stepping the foot up by the hip is more of a reclined twist. So we want to step up as high as we can, flex the bottom foot back, and now we look over the left shoulder. So your knee is going in opposite direction to your gaze. Yes. There you go. Think about wringing out the spine. So the key here is to drop the hips. So upper body's engaged, lower body is totally relaxed. See if you can find some more length through that outer right oblique. Can you feel that part of the body into the QL?
Yeah, I feel like something like behind my butt, inside.
Yeah, so that is the inception point for the, they call it the TFL or the IT band.
IT band.
Yeah, but the inception point is the TFL, which gets tied on everybody. And this is like almost impossible to stretch, so it's really great. Pick the knee up, come back through center. Pause here. I would just flex the feet back to get the hamstring stretch, drop the hips. Beautiful.
What do you call those?
Just the hamstring stretch. Yeah, this is not like really a pose, just dropping the hips. Press the feet down. Pick up the left knee, right knee this time, my left, your right. I'll do it that way. And so flex the left foot back. Outer edge, and then notice that this is usually what beginners are going to do, and ask them to bring the foot up to the hip. So at the same time, you have the right angle, knee over the ankle. Okay, so I call that a right angle. It's like a 90-degree.
Yeah.
Good. So stacking the bones first. Now we can relax the hips down. Just dropping down, looking over the opposite shoulder. So gaze goes to the right, knee goes to the left. Beautiful. Yeah, and then just drop the hips a little bit more to get the stretch. So pull that right knee to the left more. Pull it down. Yes. There you go. That's it. You can feel that now? Take a few breaths into it. We inhale and lengthen, we exhale and drop. So see if the length can happen on the inhalation, and then exhale, just go a little bit deeper each time. Really good. Okay, inhaling, lift that knee back up. Exhale, come back through center. One last time. Full supported back bend. Get into your biggest expression, your deepest expression, and sway from side to side. And then chillax in arms. So head is completely relaxed, heart is pointing up towards the sky. And then the swing, after a while, it does get intense on the back body. We're not used to this much work on those muscles, but those muscles, they're along the subscapula, tend to get really sticky. And when we open those up, it releases the neck and shoulders. There is a good reason to put that much pressure on them. And then we're just going to walk